What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sneaky. We're also known as Mom and All, and in this channel we're all about motherhood and thriving in it, and especially in our personal finances. We are financially lit in this channel. So if that's your type of thing as well, make sure that you click the subscribe button down below. Anyway, today's video is a highly requested video. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. A few of you guys have asked me to share my chartered accountancy journey, and I've been reluctant. I've tried to share this before, and then I've just yeah. Anyway, now I'm sharing it now. So basically, a chartered accountant or a CA is an accountant who is chartered, so that means their name is listed somewhere. So mine is listed or chartered on SAICA's website, which is the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. So that's where you'll find me. It means I have their backing. They've given me the stamp of approval that I can practice or operate as a chartered accountant. Let me maybe give you guys a bit of background about me and my schooling. So when I was at school, I was like very chilled. I was doing well, like fairly well, above average. And so I chose to do accounting, physical science, mathematics, and what else? Business studies, and obviously the languages and life orientation. So those were my subjects when I was going into matric. I mean, in grade 10, for obviously up until matric. So it was kind of to get my foot in the door if I want to go the physical science route, engineering, or if I actually end up in something to do with commerce. So I wanted to have my handle on both those things. So because I wasn't sure yet what I wanted to be. And I remember our first accounting class, I'll never forget, guys. So our teacher said, "So guys, what do you guys want to be? Why did you guys choose accounting?" And she was going around the class and everyone was like, "I want to be a chartered accountant. I want to be a chartered accountant. I want to be a hotel manager. I want to be a chartered accountant." Obviously it was the accounting class, so it made sense, I guess, to have that answer. But at that point in time, guys, I didn't know what a chartered accountant was and what they did. I had no clue, because for me, growing up, being a black child, I was exposed to service level jobs, like jobs that I could physically see. For example, now when I tell people that I work for a bank, they assume they'll see me at some branch someday, which they're never gonna do because I'm at the head office. But those are the jobs that I was exposed to. So you're exposed to like your police, your teachers, and then obviously the things that we see on TV as well, Generations Ad Agency. But that's about it. I didn't really know how the economy works, and there being the need for auditors, financial statements, all of that. So I was just like, oh, I chose accounting because I like numbers, like something lame like that. And then I continued. I still didn't really know what a chartered accountant does, but I was like, okay, whatever, I'm doing accounting. I still wanted to be a pilot, an engineer. I was very indecisive. Come matric, I was still not sure what I wanted to do. And I remember there's this lady, guys, if I can find that girl, her name was Pearl. I'm very grateful to her. So she came to my school. She had matriculated a year ahead of me. So in her first year of varsity, she came back to my school when I was doing matric. And she had a presentation where she was telling us about the chartered accountancy profession. And then she told us how she is a Tutuka bursary student and they're paying for her studies to study. She was at UP at that point in time. So she mentioned all of those things. Great. And then she gave us application forms to fill in and apply for this bursary if we want to also study towards being chartered accountants. And I was like, okay, this girl sounds interesting. Told my parents, and like, okay, let me apply, because at that point in time I was applying for bursaries like crazy, everything. And I did a bit more research, and I actually ended up being on actually wouldn't be a bad idea being a chartered accountant, because now I was looking into commerce. One of the best fields to be in within the commerce industry is the chartered accountancy profession, in my view back then, and it still is my view now, So I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I applied, and by the grace of God, guys, I got the bursary, and I was allocated to the University of Johannesburg, and Tutuka took care of everything. So if you're a student, you're watching this and you want to study towards being a chartered accountant, do explore the Tutuka avenue. It is partly funded by NSFAS and partly funded by Tutuka Bursary Fund, of which Tutuka Bursary Fund is like a whole lot of companies put money in there, and then basically when you're done with your with your studies, you get allocated to the different companies that have been funding the Tutuka Bursary Fund. So that's how it works. So I did my undergrad. First year I was like, oh guys, why is everyone saying university is hard? This thing, come on. Second year was okay, it's getting real. Oh my gosh, second year I was like, okay, it's getting real, but I still made it through. Third year I was like, it's getting real. You know, when you write an accounting test and it's mainly theory and you expect it to be debiting and crediting, and it's just like, it's definitions upon do things qualify as certain classifications. It's no longer about this minus that. No, like it got real. Yo guys, third year got real, and obviously the introduction of other subjects or modules as well, like taxation, financial management, auditing. It just got real. I scraped through third year, guys. I remember actually, like, you had to meet a specific percentage. I think you had to get 60% for accounting the subject, and then you needed to also have either 60% or 55. I think it was 55% average for everything else. And I was a few basis points away. I was like 54 point something. And then it was like, dude, the accounting coordinator called me. He was like, you didn't make it into honors. Your average is not above 55, because it had to be above 55. So a lot of students are in your position. At least you have your degree. Be happy with that. Cheers, Sningiwe. And I was like, oh my gosh. And to me, it was heartbreaking. My parents were like, no, man, you've had the opportunity to study for 3 years, and now you have a degree. You can apply for a job and move on with life. And that was just not an option for me, because we had been, like, during the Tutunga course, there are constantly people who come to motivate you, like Abosis Wengasana, like prominent business people, CEOs of companies and prominent speakers would come. At some point there was Blade and Zimande. Like prominent people would come and speak to us, motivate us about the Chartered Accountancy journey, about making it through as a Black child. And I just could no longer see myself as having a degree and going to find a job, and that's just it. I still wanted to do my honors and be a chartered accountant. So for me, like that day, I was crushed when third year results came out. I was already home for December holidays. Now the thought of, at some point I have to go to UJ, fetch my belongings from Res and come back and try find a job, it was heartbreaking. And I remember just praying about it, and I'd asked my parents, like, guys, can you maybe like find it in your finances to pay for me so that I can just do my honors, then so that I can repeat my third year, because I had to repeat even though I'd passed in order to make it to the honors the following year. Just pay so that I can repeat, guys. Then it was kind of a bridging course, but basically the course is a repeat of your third year. Just pay so I can do my bridging course, and then I'll try and get a bursary again for my honors year, or you can pay for the honors year as well. Obviously I was still like asking for the bare minimum. Just pay for 1 year and I'll see how I make it. My parents were like, we can't afford to be paying for res tuition. When you've got a degree, you can find a job, and a lot of people in our family don't have degrees. You've done well, child. And for me, I was like, you guys don't get it. It was hard. And by the grace of God, guys, God just came through. So a few days later, the accounting coordinator called me, and he was like, okay, since your average was obviously like 54 point something, it was rounded up, so you 55 on the dot. So you can come back and do your honors still under the Tutuga Bursary Fund. Will pay for everything. I was like, oh my God, Jesus, you love me too. Like, I was like, wow. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Like I was so grateful. I was like, wow, okay, I'm gonna go. Gizos Misela. I will make sure that I do my honors well. Yo, come honors, guys. It's even harder than it's even harder than third year. Like it was on another level, guys. CTA is on another level. Let me tell you something about honors, guys. CTA is a mental game. You need to be motivated inside, within you, to your core, and you need to keep it that way. That's why even that bursary scheme that I was in, they actually provide you mentors who will hold your hand and motivate you throughout your honors year, because it is that challenging. And for me, I knew that I lost the battle here because the motivation or the self-belief, because other than motivation, you need to believe in yourself. The self-belief was gone. I think because of that hurdle of I just scraped through third year, almost didn't make it. That messed with my mind. It gave me that imposter syndrome of maybe I don't belong in this class. Why is the bottom of the bottom? So if anyone should fail, it is me, which is not the case. That's not the mentality you're meant to have. And I tried to fight it throughout the year, but I just couldn't. It kept coming at me and it was just there. And I remember one of my friends, guys, yeah, so one of my friends, we were failing together, like first few tests, and then at some point she started picking up and my marks were just constantly staying there, bad, failing throughout the year. And I remember being like, hey friend, next year you're gonna go work, do your articles, and then you're gonna come visit me here. I'm still gonna be studying here with Tutuga because I'm not gonna pass. And she was like, no friend, you are gonna pass. Don't say that. You must have faith, you must have hope. And that's one of like her signature things. She's all about hope. You must have hope. So I was just like, no friend, you'll be coming here with your car, because almost all trainees buy cars in the first year. You'll be coming here in your car, coming to check me, and I'll just be here. Friend, I'm so happy for you. And meanwhile, we are both in the same year. We're still gonna face the same exam, but that's the mentality I had. So that's one thing. You must fight the battle in your mind first for CTA, otherwise you just won't make it through. So, and then exactly what happened the following year, she passed, she started working, and she came to visit me with her car. And I was still a student walking with my 10 toes, because that's what I manifested with my mouth. So it's very important what you say with your mouth. Don't just accept the defeat that you see. So even if you are failing, it is what it is. You can still pick up, but if you accept it and you internalize it, that's when it manifests in your life. So the failure manifested just like I'd spoken it into my life. But in honors, a lot of things went better. God was working in me. Like he was fixing me in so many different ways. And then I passed in honors, and then passed my board exams as well. With my bursary scheme, basically you decide now, okay, which company are you gonna go train for? So I applied because I wanted to be in the banking side, because I knew that I didn't have the partner dream of being in audit. Even while studying, audit wasn't like the one I wanted to explore. I was more interested in financial management, and that's kind of what stroked my interest. And actually wanting to be a chartered accountant, when I did research, it was mainly because I heard a lot of things going on about, oh no, the recession was mainly because of banks. Banks are responsible. Banks are the ones that caused the collapse. And that was that 2007, 2008 recession. So I was on some, okay, I want to be in that space where I can be in the center of the economy and actually see how everything works if banks are responsible for such large economic issues. So that's why I wanted to go the banking route. So I applied for the banking role, and luckily I got in. Then that's how I ended up going into the banking side of things. So I trained with one of the big 4 banks in South Africa. That's where I did my articles while doing my exams as well, which I passed. And then I got my stamp of approval as a chartered accountant. And then I stayed on within the treasury department of the bank, because that's where all these things happen that actually affect our economy. You know, like when there's a recession, that's where, or there's a stress event like it is now with COVID. Basically, if you're in the treasury department of the bank, that's where you see everything really unfolding. So that's where I wanted to be. And that's where I am now, which is great. It's basically testament to the fact that whatever it is that you want, that you're chasing for, you will get it if you work hard for it and you want it. But it's so important to always kill the giant in your mind, the giant that always wants you to fail, the giant that says you don't belong, because you do belong and you can do it. The giant that says, who are you to go there? Because even when you do apply for positions, if you want to go train at a bank or another company, a lot of people are like, no, you won't make it, matter, you're just gonna go the audit route. But that's because that's not where I wanted to be specifically, but I made it because that's what I wanted. So it is possible, whatever it is that you put your mind to, it's possible. And with regards to finances as well, they're very close to my heart, because I saw that if my parents had saved up, if I don't know, I felt like I had managed to get funding for 3 years of my schooling, and just because I hadn't made it through to honors, surely they should have some reserves to put me through just 1 year, but they didn't, or they couldn't. So that's one of the reasons that personal finance is actually so close to my heart, because I want to be able to give my child the option of doing a postgraduate degree if they want to do that, without saying I don't have the money. Because the thing is, with personal finances, money, it gives you options to give your children the best or better. Because I just know that if my bursary coordinator had not called me and said, oh, come through, then I wouldn't be earning what I earn now. I wouldn't be living the lifestyle that I lead now, because I would have just dropped off after my degree and perhaps not continued with my honors and getting through to the level that I'm at now, being a chartered accountant. So those are just some of the things that have really led me towards having a heart for finances, and knowing that it's important, it is crucial, and it gives us options. And I want to have options for myself and for my children going forward. Anyway, that is my chartered accountancy journey. And also share your journey below, and let me know what other videos you want to see going forward. Bye.